Yes. Oh, I got a 3090 and you're gonna hate me for it. What's up, YouTube? Jason here with Jason Bytes back, episode number Crachos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seis! In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a few different things, but yes, I did get a 3090. Yes, I'm using it to mine cryptocurrency. So hate me if you will, but you know what? It makes money. Yeah, box is empty. So for those of you who are not familiar with Jason Bytes Back, it is the series of which I go through the last 30 days of my comments and I respond to questions and or comments. As always, this series is brought to you by my awesome Patreon subscribers, those of which $5 plus will be listed at the end of this video. So thank you very much to all of my awesome Patreon subscribers. I appreciate you. Thank you. On the topic of Patreon subscribers, thank you very much, JDerp. You will be getting another shout out when I make the primary video that I have planned for this. Yes, it's related to cryptocurrency. Yes, I know I missed the curve. It's failing miserably and it's not even totally worth it anymore. But you know what? Hey, better late than never. Sometimes works. I essentially was able to get this card at MSRP. In fact, after shipping, I got kind of a big discount. So thank you, Derp. I appreciate it. Some of you might know him as Joshy Poo. Mboss, but I just call him JDerp. This is a Gigabyte card. Gigabyte is normally a brand that I don't, explore using just because of past wounds, but so far the card has seemed pretty well. However, my 3900X system, even though I set it to stock speeds with the exception of the RAM, does not seem stable enough to run mining like for over a week before it just randomly shuts off and like goes into a half derp. So I'm really glad that I'm not going to use it as my main system because I was seriously considering switching over to 3900X for main system. It's just stability, And Intel, even though they're still using super old dies and whatever, like it's just super attractive still. Maybe not right now, but hopefully soon. Also, still going strong on 3D printing, but I'm going to talk a little bit about that for the first question, which is from Parts Dave. He said if your green filament is of cheap quality, it could be causing jams. Also, if you want to consider cleaning the old nozzles, I've had success putting them in the oven for 345 degrees Fahrenheit for about 5 to 10 minutes, standing upside down on a cookie sheet. If your cleaning kit doesn't include one, get some acupuncture needles that are the same as the nozzle diameter. Well, Dave, the green filament that I was talking about is actually maybe bad, maybe not. So yeah, Nate. If you guys don't know Nate, he's usually the first on every video, even when he's 5 years late. He asked me to print out this like GitHub Gold Star reward 3D printer thing. And this is as wide as I could print it on my 3D printer. But pretty much what it really comes down to is that the filament that I used, it's like a statue filament, same stuff that's over there and the same stuff that I'm printing right now for another thing that I'll talk about here in a second, came out really well. But the green filament had a bunch of furry stuff. It's hard to see. I'll get a close-up when I edit this video. However, I try to clean up a little bit. I got frustrated and just put a heat gun to it to make it look not as fuzzy. So, Nate, I'll send this to you, but it's up to you to make it look pretty. Either way, it's printed, took like 15 hours because I printed on the highest setting. And I figured out through reading some reviews after this thing came out that, I might have to drop the temperature a little bit. So I don't want to say it's crappy quality. I want to just look to make sure that I'm not printing too high of a temperature. So everything is like 210, but from what I'm looking online, some PLAs need like 200 or 195. On the subject of 3D printing, going down this whole rabbit hole, I have this. Right? I designed this completely from scratch. I went into Blender, I added the little shapes, I imported my logo, and my idea is that I can put this on the wall, screw it in, have like a board, so I can have a bunch of them right next to each other, and I could put my filament on it. Bear in mind, this is willful ignorance, knowing that I could potentially have a future problem with, humidity inside the plastic. But I haven't had a problem yet, so, hashtag future video where I complain like I didn't know it was going to happen and I have to solve another problem. But either way, I designed this. This is version 1.0, super, super cheap, like flimsy, sorry. and no way this is going to hold anything. So you put something on there and it just like droops down. Did not work. This is version 2.0, and I maybe did not level the thing when I replaced the nozzle after I cleaned it. You guys saw that video maybe, but yeah, it came out a little crooked, didn't exactly stick because the nozzle wasn't even connecting all the way. So, but this one, a lot better. In fact, even with it being kind of, crooked a little bit, I can still probably use this as a filament holder. My idea here is that every filament that I try that I like, I can print off a holder knowing that once I run out, I'll probably buy more and then put that in its place. Or I could just unscrew it and replace it with something else. But it's kind of cool in my idea, in my head, to just have a separate holder with the example of each filament printed off and on the wall, holding it with my logo and a nice little wall setup. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But this so far has turned out really well. I think I have one more revision that I need to do, but I think it's kind of a neat idea. Next question is from Dr. Bleed. It's on the triple 4K monitor gaming video that I made many years ago. Maybe 10 years ago, the triple setup was necessary, but there really isn't much reason to get a nice not to get a nice ultra wide in this day and age. Well, yes and no. I believe mainly just because I've been using triple monitors for so long and I like the way Windows snaps, even though yes, I know you can set up on a super ultra wide or an ultra wide to snap the same way triple monitors do. I like having triple monitors, mainly because I like humongous monitors. I have 3 43-inch as an example. I am currently loosely in the future, potentially looking for a 49-inch super ultra wide to replace both of my monitors that are on top of my 43-inch setup, because the 49 inches will go like perfectly in between my speakers. And I had 2 monitors, but one of them crapped out while I was out of town, just like last week. So now I need a better replacement for my Blue Iris. So I'm on the lookout for either a good used deal on that. Doesn't even have to be a nice monitor, just have a VESA mount. So I know that these curved ultra wides have their place, and maybe when I use one, I will be super amazed. But for now, I really dig having 3 monitors, not gonna lie. Next question is from Haterade. Plex Watch together is broken on the shield, doesn't work. Please test and let us know. I'll try it, maybe, but I picked this question because I really want to know who uses Plex Watch together. I know it's a feature people use, but I would love to see the percentages. Plex has gotten rid of features or things, partially because they didn't want to update it, but also mainly because a small percentage of people used it. So I would love to see how many people actually use the Plex Watch feature to watch content with other people remotely. That would be interesting. I have only tested it once, but I've never found a reason to use it. So, let me know in the comments down below. Next question is from Connor XG. This is on running power for PoE switch to the attic. If you ever have to replace that switch, check out a Natonix or MicroTik. Insane operating temps on them. I know Natonix has some above 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you guys don't know, I have a switch in my attic. That's right. I ran networking cables up to my attic. I wired in an outlet up in my attic to power the switch because it's a PoE switch and it handles all the things and does all the stuff. And that was like a year and a half ago. It's made it through a Kansas summer, which means I can probably go 140 plus degrees in my attic, and it is yet to fail. Granted, I did buy a $25 USB laptop cooling thing that keeps air flowing. Even though everyone told me it was stupid, it hasn't failed yet, and my house has not burned down. So with all of that said, it could fail at any time, but it has not. And if I do replace it, it's probably going to be more in tune with expanding my cameras because I'm out of ports. I'm gonna have to get, more PoE ports in order to make it work. However, I'm going to save the screenshot because if and when it fails or I need to upgrade, I will be looking for higher temperature operating PoE switches with more ports. So if anyone else have any comments on that or recommendations, let me know. It's not a high priority. We're talking back burner stuff right now, but hey. Next question is from Andrew Russell. The remote lights up when pumping. I bump or even touch my coffee table and it lights up. Oh my God. So I made the NVIDIA Shield video. I gave kind of like a first impressions review and my remote did not light up. After publishing this video, many people told me that I was wrong. I appreciate you. You're right. I also like that I figured this out before I made my big video where this might have deducted points from it. So thank you very much for telling me. And that's the best part about doing what I do, is that if for whatever reason I'm ever wrong, the entire internet will tell me I'm wrong. I love it sometimes. Sometimes it's like, oh my God, I get it. Let me pin a comment. But sometimes it's just like, huh, yeah, I said that. Also did a battery review where I said 1,000 kilowatt hour capacity, you know, oops, that's okay. I'm an idiot. That's why I only have 100,000 subs. It is what it is. Next question is from Benjamin Anderson. So what's this about DDoS attacks using Plex servers? If you guys are not familiar, yes, this has been fixed. Definitely update your Plex servers. Plex had this thing with some older versions where people could, and you know, ignore the technical dumbness here. I didn't really care that much, but people could redirect UDP request from your Plex server to another outside IP address, essentially amplifying a DDoS attack on other computers or servers. And that sucks because holy bananas, a lot of Plex servers are visible to the internet and you can kind of just scan for them. And this is totally a thing. I know websites that do this. So I can understand why this is a huge deal. And it is a huge deal if you have not updated your Plex server. I highly recommend updating your Plex server, just bare minimum to keep your own server from playing roles in DDoS attacks. But I did get a lot of requests for this, like, OMG, Jason, you believe this happened? I'm like, kinda, I mean, this is what happens. Security flaws get recognized and they get patched, and that's what happens. You get something popular enough, you're gonna get hacked. I mean, on some level. I'm not saying it doesn't suck, but this particular hack or exploit did not expose any of your information. Your passwords are safe, your usernames and everything else is good. It was literally just like this port forwarding, you know, protocol request thing that they were forwarding to other IP addresses to flood someone else's computer or server. So Cliff Notes, update your Plex media server. Don't panic. Everything's fine. Next question is from Ronald Harris. On the Pecron E1000 solar panels, love the cold. Fox News and the governor of Texas don't know what they are talking about. This was responding to the comment where I said, it's hard to test my solar panels because it's winter here in Kansas and I don't have that much sun. I'm sorry, but that's true. I have a full-time job. I'm not always out when the sun is out. The sun went down or was going down 5:30 to 6 o'clock at night, and I had a lot of clouds. I mean, yeah, some sunny days, but for the most part, it's just a lot better in the summer to test like a full range of charging capabilities and to get the most out of solar. So you're right, but also winter still affects it, especially when you get frost and ice and all kinds of things. But valid point, just kinda. Next question is from Sean. You should do an AMA video with pre-sent in videos. We all have burning questions. Well, that's what I do this for, to answer your question, Sean. Do you fold or scrunch toilet paper? I scrunch. You gotta get like a ball. I feel like if you fold it, like you're just asking for poop to be like smudged, but you scrunch it. Adds a little bit of like scraping power to it. You know what I mean? Why did you start a YouTube channel? That really came down to watching Paul's Hardware on Newegg TV. He was playing with all these, you know, computer parts and just always exploring the latest and greatest stuff. And I'm like, God, I would love to do that. You know, I want to play with new things. My interests change a lot. I have the attention span of a goldfish. So why not put that on the internet and then at least try to have some of that fund some of my stupid things that I like to get into. That's really what it was. It's just like, I want to be involved with tech or whatever and make video about it. That was pretty much it. Lastly, and did you ever consider quitting? Quitting, no. Breaking, yes. I considered like really taking a step back, and I actually kind of did. Like I lowered the amount of videos that I did just because I was feeling that burnout. I got into that thing where it's like you need to get a video out because you haven't gotten one out in a while, you know? So then you just throw something together. And then this is a common thing like really still, where I just have to get something out. What I really enjoy about YouTube are the passion projects. Like I got this 3090 and I have a sponsorship with another company who's gonna be sending me some hardware for a build that I'm gonna do. It's gonna be revolving around 3090 and crypto mining. And that is like super exciting to me, and I really wanna spend time on that. I also have these freaking, Plex clients that I've been sandbagging. Update, not my fault. I really tried to get a lot of like recordings and stuff, and I want to capture everything through a card. And that stupid copyright HDMI protection crap kind of threw a big wrench in that. I just ordered a new thing. I just got a new thing that is a splitter. HDMI splitter should do that handshake and allow me to record that content. So those tests are finally going to move forward. I just ran into some technical difficulties, but that's like a passion thing, right? The build with the 3090, it's a passion thing. Other things sometimes just feels more like work. And although I don't mind doing the work, I do enjoy the passion projects a lot more. So stepping back and focusing more on passion, definitely different than quitting, but still a thing. Next question is from Paul. He says, okay, let's say you buy into the NUC strategy. You're only giving us 50% of the story. What do you connect to that can handle storage? While 10 terabytes is a large SSD, many of us have larger storage needs. Paul, you're absolutely right. 10 terabytes worth of SSD storage on a little miniature NUC is not that much for a lot of people, at least not for me. But 10 terabytes is still quite a bit of data. 10 terabytes can still handle a pretty massive library. The whole point of that NUC was it's small, it's low powered, and it freaking clowned on everything else in my house when it came to transcoding because it's a 10th gen CPU with the built-in integrated graphics and it had 32 gigs of RAM. I mean, that thing just plowed through transcoding. And I've said this before, but I'm going to be using that server for my Plex client testing because it is so responsive, it is so quick, and it handles so much that I don't even want to bottleneck with Loki, my main server. In fact, my next server is probably going to be a 10th gen plus based media server because I don't use GPU that often. I don't really need it. I have a 5960X in there now because I use a 3900 for something else because it went bad. Long story, doesn't matter. But I'm still itching to build another server. And I think it's probably going to be an Intel with a 10th gen plus CPU. As far as connecting storage, well, you have plenty of different options. You can either A, connect with USB drives. Yes, it's going to be slow. No, you're not going to have the redundancy. It's total risk, and you're probably going to run into problems doing that. And it is also somewhat limited. But if you want to go the other route of using a network attached storage device like a Synology, a pre-made, a FreeNAS, TrueNAS, Unraid, you can connect these network drives to your Plex media server, and you could watch them basically using that NUC as just a transcoding home base. The thing is, there's so many different options out there. There's so many different people out there, and what works for you won't work for somebody else. It's just is what it is. Next question is from Neptune Fusion on the USB flash drive that stores computers, which was like 5 or 6 years ago. Why does this video have so many dislikes? Neptune, I know you're not going to see this, but to everyone else, you probably already know this. God, that was an April Fool's joke. It was dumb. It gained traction during a whole USB killer phase. And I don't know if I ever said this publicly, but I literally put a cup of gasoline in there, like a solo cup of gasoline in there, and then a little flame underneath. And if you don't know, gasoline burns through solo cups. It eats through it, sorry. So it's just a matter of time before it started smoking. And it was just a matter of time to time when that was going to happen. So that's all I did. It was just a thing of gasoline in a solo cup. But you know what? I'm a troll, and it was fun. Next question is from Crazy MK6. Hello, Jason, or anyone in the know. You have a beast of a Plex media server. Is this available to your viewers to be added to the server, maybe for Patreon subscribers? Thanks. Crazy Mark 6, absolutely not. Not gonna happen. Sorry. It's just no. Like, sorry. There's no way that's ever gonna be a thing. I can make a list of the reasons why not, but let's just keep it simple. It's not gonna happen. Next question is from Joey Ken. Byte My Bits. You were saying about 10 series Intel is a beast for a server and don't need a GPU. Would you recommend it over Ryzen? Abso-freaking-lutely. Seriously. I have a Ryzen 3900 and I now have a 10th gen CPU with built-in graphics. Seriously, 10th gen with the iGPUs are just beast. They handle 30 plus transcodes. I mean, you can't go wrong. Ryzen is great if you want to throw in a GPU, sure. But if you're on a budget and you just want to spend the money, especially while right now you can't really even buy a GPU for a reasonable price, 10th gen is just the way to go. I'm debating 3900 versus 10 series. That's actually part of the question. I would absolutely go for a 10th series CPU. I'm just saying. You won't regret it. And that is the last question of today. So as always, guys, awesome Patreon subscribers, $5 plus, are going to be listed at the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching my channel. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you want the best possible chance of it being listed in next Jason Bytes Back, make sure to leave those in the comments down below. So thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and have yourself a good day. If you guys haven't noticed, I replaced my Quick Trip cup. I know, me and the Quick Trip cup go way back, but that thing sweats everywhere, gets water everywhere. This doesn't hold as much water or ice, but it keeps things cold and it's actually a little bit easier to handle. So let's get back to this. I've been mining with my 2080 Ti, my 1080 Ti, my 3090, which is, let's just say it's a 3080 Ti just for the walls, just because it fits, but it's not really, but okay, bad idea. And literally a week ago, I was making like twice as much money as I am today, which is crazy. Cryptocurrency, pain in the ass. It goes up, it goes down, and it's constantly changing, but this thing is a beast. And once I'm done making that video and doing some benchmarks and probably running it for a little bit, I am going to be replacing the 2080 Ti that is currently in my main system with this. But this thing takes 3 8-pins, so I have to run another power cable. Thankfully, I have plenty of power in my main system. It's a 1600 watt EVGA power supply, so no problems there. However, if you guys don't remember, I had an 850 watt power supply in my old system before I upgraded to the 1600. No, I'm sorry, it was a 1000 watt power supply. And one of the rails were going bad, so it doesn't really handle power very well, which might be why I'm having power issues with my motherboard shutting off now. That's why I haven't really landed on any kind of excuse. But part of this upgrade sponsorship thing is going to be a new power supply. So that's going to be really cool. A super overpowered power supply that's going to be able to handle this, the 2080 Ti and the 1080 Ti if I can fit them all on the motherboard. And I am super excited to see, what that system is going to come out to look like. And, hopefully by the time I make that video, cryptocurrency will be back up. Hopefully. I know a lot of people hate the whole cryptocurrency phase, but you got to look at it from my standpoint. I pay for this, so if I can throw it in a system for a couple months and try to get back half of what I paid for it, maybe not that much, but you know what I mean, at least get a little bit of return on my investment before I make it my main system, and then probably even run it in the background while I'm not using my main computer and still get some money from it. Like, feels like it'd be dumb not to do that. If you can make money off what you have, especially in Kansas where the watt or the energy is like 0.07 per kilowatt or something. So why not? Okay, now I'm done.